So the second module we have to see about the digital TV. So as a initial lecture we have to see some of the basics. That is, what is a challenge in transmitting a fully digital TV picture. So there was a progression from the normal scanning technique to a technique called as interlaced scanning. So in this section we will be mainly discussing about the scanning technique, that is what is the difference between progressive and interlaced scanning, and we will see about the standard of the two type of television system, that is the PAL and the NTSC system. As an introduction to digital TV, we have to understand that the main challenge in transmitting a fully digital picture is the requirement of very high bitrate or the problem of bandwidth. That is, even for a 525 or a 625 line video picture without compression, it was actually impossible to send such a high bandwidth of data. So digital HDTV, they may need up to 1 gigabit per second. So analog system with digital assistance were given preference. With the development of these compression algorithms, that is JPEG and MPEG only, we was able to reduce the amount of data required for transmission of digital pictures. And also there was continuous progress in IC technology, which allowed the complex digital signal processors, which allowed for audio, video, signal processing, etc. So with the help of such advanced processing technology and compression algorithms, we would be able to send more amount of data. So the main problem regarding initially in the transmission of the digital data was the requirement of high bandwidth. So when we understand the basics of TV, we have to see about the scanning principle. What do we mean by scanning is that it is actually the process by which the optical image of the object, that is our television object, it is being formed on a photosensitive plate of the TV camera. So we know that always we use a type of CRT display or a LCD, liquid crystal display. Then the viewing surface of CRT, it will be coated with a layer of arrayed phosphor dots. And the back of CRT, there will be set of some electron guns, that is there will be a cathode arrangement which is going to produce a controlled stream of electrons. So this electrons which is being produced by the heated cathode, what it is going to do is that it is going to break it into a series of lines. That is, whatever optical image of the televised object is being formed on this photosensitive plate, the electron is going to break it into a series of horizontal lines. So the phosphor dots glow when they are struck by high energy electrons, and to produce thus a picture on the screen, they will start at the top of the screen and they can scan rapidly from left to right along the row of the phosphor dots. So at the end of the line, it moves to the next line. So this is how this progressive scanning is going to occur. So once this electron beam has splitted our image into a number of lines, it is going to scan each of the lines one by one. This is a concept of the scanning principle employed in television. So here the principle of progressive scanning is shown. So it starts from the first point, it is moving to the next line. So when it reaches here, it has to go to the second line. So likewise scanning occurs. Now it is actually this type of the progressive scanning. It is similar to how we actually read a book. Okay, that is when we are reading the pages of a book, the eye, it will be starting from the top left hand corner, then it will travel to the right across the words. So similarly again it will again return to the left hand corner and again start reading, and again the process is repeated. So thus this process is completed. So after completing each line, when it moves to the next line, it is called as a horizontal retrace. So this portion, when it is moving to the next line, this portion is called as horizontal retrace. Then what will be vertical retrace? That is when the beam reaches at the right bottom corner. So this is the right bottom corner. What it has to do, again it has to move to the starting point. Okay, so this again it has to move to the starting point to scan the screen again and again. When it moves to the first line, it is called as vertical retrace. So this portion, after it reaches the full line, that is it reaches the rightmost portion, again it has to move up to start scanning from the beginning. So this portion is called as vertical retrace. So for both the horizontal and vertical retrace, the electron emission is being stopped. Okay, so this is how the scanning process, the progressive scanning principle, it is going to take place, similar to how we actually read a book. There is a problem for the progressive scanning that is called as the flickering effect. Now, when we are going to transmit the TV picture with the help of TV camera, we are going to transmit it by scanning it line by line, and at the other end, in the display, we are going to assemble it in the same process. So, with the help of the persistence of vision, that is with the help of the human eye retina, that the image is going to persist for about 1 by 6 of the second only, we are going to get the impression of continuity. But sometimes we may have the problem of this flickering, that is the frame may not be blending smoothly with each other. So the screen may be alternatively made bright and dark, which is caused, and this effect is called as a flickering effect, which is very much annoying to the user. So these are the several images shown for the flickering effect. So sometimes the frame, it may not smoothly blend with each other. So this problem, it will be eliminated if you are going to use interlaced scanning instead of progressive scanning. So the problem can be solved by showing each of the picture, that is each frame twice, which will eliminate the flicker problem. So we will see how interlaced scanning is going to occur. So interlaced scanning, it was invented in 1927. So how the scanning was done is that we were going to divide the whole of the lines into two frames, that is two fields. So the first field, it is made of odd lines of the frame, and second field, it is made up of even lines. So we are going to split it. This allowed the picture refresh rate to be doubled for a given vertical resolution to either 50 or 60 Hz without increasing the broadcast bandwidth required. So without increasing the bandwidth, we are going to increase the resolution rate. Now there was a need, because of this interlaced scanning, there was a need to maintain a link between the picture rate and the mains frequency, which led to different standards on different parts of the world. So since there was a dependent upon the mains frequency used, there was different standards being produced. However, all these standards, they shared the common features. That is, there was a unique composite picture signal combining the video, blanking and synchronization information called as a video baseband signal. So by video baseband signal, we must understand that it is a multiplex signal which contains information not only of the actual video, but information also about the synchronization pulses, blanking pulses, etc. And another standard is the interlaced scanning. That is the best compromise between the flicker and the required bandwidth. Why we are saying required bandwidth? Because in interlaced scanning there is a saving on bandwidth. That is, we are going to send only one half of the complete frame at once. So in case of the progressive scanning, at a time we have to send the complete frame. But in interlaced scanning, we are dividing the whole of the lines into two. We are dividing it into two fields. So at one time, we are going to send only one half of the complete frame. So there is a saving of bandwidth, and also the flicker effect will be minimized. So if you are considering a 625 line system, that is the PAL standard, the total of 625 lines, we are not going to scan all these lines one by one. We are going to divide the total of 625 lines into two fields. Okay, so 625 divided by 2, 312.5 lines. So we are having two fields of 312.5 lines, out of which 292.5 lines, they are used for vertical trains, and 20 lines, they are inactive lines. They will be used simply for vertical retrace. The next slide, we can see how this is going to occur. So now with two field per frame, we are going to have 25 complete frames per second, and the field repetition rate has now become 50 times per second. So the vertical scanning frequency in the case of the PAL system, it is going to be 50 Hertz. So in the progressive frame, we are going to scan the line as we read the text one by one. We are going to scan the line. But in the case of interlaced frame, you can see that the whole of the line, it is being divided into two fields. So the one frame itself, we are having two fields. So if you are considering for a standard 625 line system, when we divide it by 2, we are going to get 312.5. So in the first case, out of this, I told you in the 312.5, there will be 292.5 active lines and other 20 lines. They are used for vertical retrace. So when you can see that we are going to scan here in the first case, first line, then say second, third, fourth. So this scanning is being done say for 292.5 lines, and at this step, so this is occurring here. At this step, what happens? A vertical retrace, it is going to occur. Okay, so the retrace line, it is shown here in the red color. It is going to occur like this. So at this point, the lines, the 20 lines, they are inactive and there will be no objects displayed on the frames. Okay, so you can see here from the bottom to top, here now the retrace is going to occur. It is shown by this line. And in the second again, so where we are stopping here. So here from here again the scanning has to occur. So again here for another 292.5 lines, the scanning will occur. So 313, again it will occur for 314, again for 315, again for this 316, 317, etc. Now it will occur up to 605. So again from starting from this particular point, so it is scanning has occurred till here. So again you can see the green color. So this is a portion for the vertical retrace. So again this is a 20 inactive lines will be there during this vertical retrace portion. So what we have done, we have divided the whole of the 625 lines into two portions. That is, we have bisected a single frame into two frames. So this is how the vertical scanning is now being done. So there are total of 625 lines. We have divided to 312.5, and at each you can see that 292.5 lines are being scanned, and in each of these cases the 20 lines, they have remained inactive, and during which the vertical retrace here it is occurring, and in this case also you can see the vertical retrace being occurring. So this is how the interlaced scanning is occurring. So we have to go through these standards. These are the television standards. That is, first one is the NTSC standard, and another one is the PAL standard used in European system, and this NTSC is used in American system. So the standard values are given for how many lines are used, what is the field frequency, line frequency. So the number of fields which is transmitted in 1 second, and how many lines are being scanned in 1 second. So all these are the standards, and what is the bandwidth, and what is the frequency, that is if the frequency modulation sound with the carrier frequency, its values is given. So you can go through all these standard values. Now we have actually explained the interlaced scanning for the 625 line system by dividing it into 312.5 with the field frequency of 50 Hertz and the line frequency of 15,625 Hertz. So these are the standards which is being currently used. That is NTSC, mainly used in US, and the PAL standards which is used in the European countries.